Hi everybody. My name is Girish Kumar. I am a senior architect working with Infosys. I'm based out of India. I have around 20 years of experience designing and developing applications in IMS, VoIP, and SDN space. And uh, I've been actually associated with ONF since last 1.5 years. And since last 8 to 10 months, I'm actually contributing into Volta development. So the topic which we are going to cover today is resonating Volta logging ecosystem. So this is about basically bringing up some major changes into the Volta logging ecosystem. I'm joined by my colleague Divya in this presentation. So Divya, you could please introduce yourself.
Yeah, myself, Divya. I am working as a senior consultant with the Infosys from last 2.5 years. I have around 7.5 years of experience in a design and development. I mostly worked upon a cloud platform and a networking domain. From last 1 year, I am associated with the ONF and mostly contributing to the Volta. Yeah, Girish, you can continue.
Yeah, thanks, Divya. So this Volta logging ecosystem, as I talked about, right? It's a bare bone and some amount of limiting capabilities. So that's the focus area we actually picked up for going forward because that's the area which is going to affect the developer productivity a lot. And what we found in Volta logging ecosystem today, it has some limited set of capability, which is basically not assisting developers in understanding the code execution that easily and troubleshooting the related issues. One of the major challenges which we actually noticed is specifically related to the concurrent request execution, wherein I think we are not able to follow the code flow, and specifically if that concurrent execution is happening on a critical section of code. So to handle, I think all this issue, actually we started off making certain significant changes. So the first of that was the dynamic log level configuration, where we actually have enabled Volta components to be able to change their log verbosity in runtime, so that they can the log level changes instantly. We also started supporting persistence of the configuration, so that that configuration is able to persist across the pod restart. It has a package level granularity, and we are able to support now the validation of the input package name and component name entered by the user. This is actually followed by a next feature we implemented was centralized log analysis, which is basically a introduction of a Elastic Fluentd and Kibana stack for log analysis into kind Volta setup. So you can now use a with EFK kind of flag and deploy a kind in the kind Volta setup a EFK stack. It supports a basic user account configuration and some amount of creation of the dashboard. Right. The next one, which we actually is a work in progress, is a log correlation, where we are doing a enrichment of the logs, which would actually facilitate the identification of all the logs generated by a particular thread of execution. And this is actually a necessary capability for any developers to be able to troubleshoot issue in case of concurrent request execution, which is something which is currently lacking in Volta. And in the last, there's another feature we are bringing in is which is a work in progress, where we are kind of taking open tracing uh, as a base, open tracing stack or concept as a base, and we are introducing distributed trace generation in across the Volta component. So idea is that all the Volta components would be instrumented, and they will generate span, which will get injected into a Jagger-based tracing stack. So that would actually empower all the developers to be able to do a execution time analysis to identify any areas of bottleneck. Okay, so with that, I think first two actually areas we have already completed and implemented in Volta in the last release, and then other two I think is a work in progress, and we aim to complete it in the coming few months. Okay, now what I will do is I'll jump on to the first area, that is a dynamic log configuration. We'll just talk about the solution approach first, and then we'll jump on to the demo. In the solution approach, what we have done is we have taken etcd, the key value store used in Volta, as the system where we are persisting the log configuration. So see in the etcd we have a predefined path under which we store the Volta configuration. So we introduce a config path under that, and then for each component there would be some additional configuration which would be stored under it. So we would have a component one, and then the log level key, and that we will have multiple keys, one for default log level, and there are two for package one and package two kind of log levels, right? So for each code package running in Volta component, you can set a log level in this way. For examples, as you can see on the screen, the Volta RW4 can be the component name, and the package name can be the Kafka path, right? Now, this information would be actually used by VoltCTL and also the component port. So the idea is that VoltCTL would be writing this information directly into etcd, and the component would be reading it from the etcd. And the way it would work is VoltCTL, there are actually 4 log level kind of commands. So 2 of them are log level set and clear. They would basically write that information, and the component pod would read it from the etcd. And component port would also do a watch on the etcd for that specific path of the component, so that it gets notified about any changes being done in the log level configuration by VoltCTL in real time. So it make changes into its log modules. The other command which is supported by VoltCTL, the Volt level log level list, is going to read this information from etcd. Okay, to display it to the user what are the log levels configured. Then what we also going to support a validation of the configured package, and that is going to be enabled through a additional key called metadata, under which we will be having a special key called log underscore package underscore list, which will keep a list of all the discovered packages. So this information would be actually populated by the component when it comes up into etcd, and it will be read by VoltCTL when user executes the log package list command. Okay. Now this is component one view. Same way for any component, this would be repeated. So for component two, you can have different default level and package level configurations and different packages. And there would also be a global default. Okay. We'll just talk about global default in a moment. And the idea is that global default is the base level configuration that would be used for log configuration if there is no component level default which are defined, or package level defaults defined. So the component would read information right into the component level path, as well as will do it for the global path. Okay. In the same way, component 2 would also read information from etcd from 2 paths, from its own component log level and the default log level. Now, the way this component and default log level works is there's a level of precedence. So any package in the code, which is any code package in Volta, when it is when it is basically going to log the statement, it is going to use a order of precedence. And if a log level has been defined for that specific package, that would be used. Okay. So if it is a component package level log level defined, that would be used. If it is not defined, it will fall back to the component default. If the component default is also not defined, it will fall back to the global default. This concept would actually further be described by my colleague Divya as we proceed to the demo. So I think yeah, probably I have explained the solution approach. Now we proceed to the demo. So over to you, Divya, for the demonstration.
Yeah,
Of,
thank you,
log level.
Girish. We have enhanced some features with the old CTL dynamic logging. One of those features is auto completion. So with auto completion, if you want to enable the auto completion, we just have to set this command. So what auto completion really give us is whenever we use the OldCTL command, and after that, if we do tab, it will list out all the commands available for the usage. So we'll see what are the sub commands available with the log, there are two subcommands available with the log. One is package and another one is the label. So with the package, it will just list all the packages which are allowed for the components, all the components for all the components. So we'll see the package list for specific component. We'll see it for the OpenFlow agent. So it will list me the allowed packages for OpenFlow agent. So we'll move to the next command, that is level. So with the level, there are three subcommands: clear, list, and set. We'll see one by one these commands, how it works. So first we'll go with the list. So list basically shows me the log levels set for all the components. So initially the log level is set as a 1 for all the components. Now just we'll see in the other terminals. If you see that I have opened three terminals. One is for RW core, adapter OpenOLT, and OF agent, where I am tailing the logs for each component. And if you see that there are no warning logs initially for RW core and adapter OpenOLT, but whereas for the OF agent, there are some initial logs are available, warning logs. Now, if you want to see the log level set for any specific component, just do tab. It will list all the available OLTA components, and just type one character of any component, and you can see the log level set for that specific component. Now we'll move to the next set of command, that is set. After set, if you just do the tab, it will show you all the available log levels which you can use to set the log level for the component. So we'll set debug for the global default. If you go and just check list it, so it will show me that that global log level has been changed to the debug. Now, if you want to set any log level for a specific component, then we'll set info log level for read write core. So we can see the logs are started coming for the read write core. So similarly, we can set a log level for a specific package. So we'll set a debug log level for OpenFlow agent for any package. Hash is the separator which we use for separating the package name with the component. So after hash, if I do tab, it will list me all the allowed packages for the specific component. And we have a shorthand as well, where you can type just 3 characters of suffix of any component will give you the complete package name. So we'll set a debug log level for OF agent package. So we can see we can see the debug logs are started coming for OF agent. Similarly, we can set a log level for multiple components at the same time. So we'll set info to read write core as well as adapter OpenOLT. So you can see in few seconds the log level are started coming for adapter OpenOLT. Now we'll move to the next set of a command, that is clear. So we'll just clear. We can clear the log level set for any specific package. We'll just clear the log level set for a specific package. after component name, if I do tab, it will show me the packages which are already set for this specific component. So we'll just select OF agent package and we'll clear it. So you can see that the logs are stopped coming for OF agent. Similarly, we can stop the logs coming for any specific component. So we'll just clear the log level set for OpenFlow agent. So in some time you started seeing the debug logs are started coming for the OF agent, because now it has fallback to the global default, where we had earlier set the global log level as a debug. Instead, it will show you the global log level has been set as debug. So currently the OF agent doesn't have any log level has been set. So it has fallback to the global default. So similarly, we know that adapter OpenVLT, we had set the info as a log level, and we persist the log level set for a specific component. If the component restarts, that time it will take the log level which is set in the etcd. So for that, just will delete the component, and then it is a Kubernetes cluster, so it will spin up the new pod for OpenVLT adapter. We'll just delete it, and if I come back, so you can see the you can see the new pod has been created. We'll just see the logs. We can see the info logs are coming for OpenVLT adapter, as it has taken from the etcd. So similarly, we are doing some validation checks for the components, such as we can't set we are validating for the wrong log level, means invalid log level. Suppose if I want to set log level which is not allowed, suppose A, so it will throw me an error. And similarly, if I want to clear the global default log level, it will not allow actually. So it will throw me an error saying that global default log level cannot be cleared. And similarly, we are doing a component level check and package level check as well. So we'll just see that. So if I want to set any component which is not available, suppose, okay, I'll just remove the last E. So it will throw me an error with saying that this specific component is not currently active in the Ulta. If I go and list it, it will come as a star. And for similarly, we'll see for the package validation. It will also throw me an error with saying that entered package name is not valid. So this is all about the dynamic logging. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is centralized log analysis for a Ulta ecosystem. So I'll just do the presentation. I'll go with the presentation mode. So for centralized logging, we choose the solution approach, that is EFK. EFK is basically the Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Fluentd stack, which enables the operator to weave logs for all the Ulta components in a single stream. So we have introduced the new flag with EFK at the time of the Ulta deployment. If you choose with EFK, it will set up the EFK with the kind Ulta setup. The number of pods deployed for this EFK is dependent on the deployment type you have chosen and the flag set for while deploying, that is schedule on control loads. So below table shows the number of Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Fluent Elasticsearch pods deployed during the EFK setup. So by default, security and physical persistence features are not enabled with EFK. We are doing port forwarding, so the Elasticsearch and Kibana can be accessed outside the cluster. So the port forwarded for the Elasticsearch is 9200 and Kibana it is 5601. If you want to access the Kibana web interface, you can use this URL. So this is all about the EFK feature. Now the Girish will take you through the demo of Ulta logging system. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Divya. So you can stop recording. So in the interest of time, what I have done is, as explained by Divya, we have a with EFK flag, right, available. So what I've done is I have already have set up a Volta setup with EFK, and also we are redirecting the Kibana port to 30601 in my setup. Okay, and what has happened, if you see, when the Volta installation happened, it actually installed the Elastic, Kibana, and Fluentd set of containers, right? And it also did a port forwarding, which you can just see by looking at this command. All right. Okay. So here you can see for the Kibana and Elasticsearch, there is port forwarding done. So that is what would allow us to now, what we do is we look at the Kibana UI, which is now should be accessible on 30601 port. And this is actually AWS EC2 instance which I'm accessing. So I'll just open it in my laptop using its IP address. Okay, so let's look at this. All right. Okay, so it is loading the Kibana UI. So it is a fresh installation of Kind Volta, right, with EFK. So as you will see, it doesn't have any kind of a visualizations or chart which are already predefined. So let's go to the basic page, the discover page of Kibana, right, which shows the set of events, in which case our case is these are log statements, right, which are getting ingested into the Kibana. So as you can see, in last 15 minutes, there are 3,347 which has been ingested. Actually, I brought up this setup almost an hour ago. Okay, in fact, more than an hour ago. I'm not sure. So let me try to refresh it again. So there are almost 17,000 hits which has happened. So there are 17,000 logs which have been pushed into this setup. Let's look at few of the logs here. So I'm just kind of expanding on these logs. Here you can see it is coming from different kind of, so it is actually coming from KindNet. So the logs which you see, right, these are coming from all the pods of the Volta setup, including your infrastructure, including your group system, right? So what we are interested as a developer, right, is the logs which are getting generated by Volta components, right? So if you look at, to be able to see that, what we'll do is we'll put in a filter. Okay. So what I will do is I will put in a filter for basically a field called instance ID. I want to only look at those logs which have this field available, and actually this field is inserted by all the Volta component logs, with all the Volta application components, okay, which will now only those logs would start appearing. So if you see, the total number of logs have gone down to 1,500 now. Okay, because now I'm only seeing those logs which are getting generated by application components in Volta, which are basically RWCO, OpenOLT, and OFHN. So this is something you can see coming from rewrite code, right? Uh, Another thing which is to probably note down is this index which is automatically created by the EFK setup. So we are using that standard default index. Now, to be able to correctly view the logs, right, in a better view, what I will do is I will add some key fields into this discover page. So I'm adding color. I'm going to add field which is the instance ID, right? Fine. I will add a field which is the level, indicating the log level. Right? I will add a field called message, which is indicating the message which is logged by that particular log statement. So here you can see all these fields, right? Up here, it is now you can easily actually analyze the logs, right? The logs which are coming from different components in a single stream, right? So you can see adapter log something, and within a few seconds you get a log from RWCO, right? Now you don't see a lot of logs coming, right? So, for example, here you can see OFHN log coming, indicating gRPC refresh device list was called, and just after that you can see RWCO was called, right, with this logical devices, right? So let's now go to uh, another visualization which is available, uh, which is actually, so this view is actually very much important for a developer point of view. Now we look at another view in terms of dashboards, which are going to be very much relevant for operator point of view, because operators are not interested in this kind of log. They would probably interested in understanding how the Volta system is behaving in terms of metrics, right? They would be interested in how much etc operations are happening, right? What are the resource utilization, what are the calls which are happening, how many logs are getting generated, and also. So we look at another metric which is supported in Kibana, right? Now it was a fresh installation, as I said. There was no dashboards which are already available, okay? But just for demonstration, what we have done is we have already have a dashboard which we had configured earlier. I will just load it, okay? So I'll just go to stack management, save our object, and import that particular dashboard. So let me import. So you can see there's a logging dashboard JSON, which is a pre-configured dashboard we had just created for demonstrating the capabilities, right, which Kibana was going to bring in, right? So you can see almost 16 such objects were imported. Now we go back to the dashboard, and you can see a Volta Insights dashboard here, right? Now we open it. Here you can see different kind of a visualization, right? You have a kind of a matrix, you have a pie chart. So matrix is showing total number of logs. This is showing the distribution of log among the Volta components, and I can see the open ONU adapter is showing sending the maximum number log statement. Then you have total etcd operation which are happening. So you can see, okay, almost 1 hour ago I had brought up this setup. At that time there was some amount of put operation which happened, and after this kind of idle, right? Nothing is happening in etcd. There's just a couple of liveness checks are happening, and there is a get operation which is happening every 1 minute. Okay. Now if I go down logs count, right? There are not much logs happening. There's just a few info logs are coming up. Right? Initially there was a lot of debug, but then after that, just a few info logs are coming up every second. Okay. If I go further down, okay, you can see the RPC calls. So this is small dashboard we have kind of extracted from the logs how many RPC calls are happening between RWCO and adapter and OpenONU and OpenOLT adapter. Right? So as of now, only one operation has happened between OpenOLT adapter and RWCO. Okay. So what I will do is, this looks very stable, right? Nothing much is happening. So let's make something happen. Okay, before I go that, let me also show you one other feature. So you can select one particular port. For example, I select OFHN port. It will only show me data related to that port. Okay, so let me do apply changes. and you will see all this visualization will change. So I can see only 108 logs came from OF agent. There were actually no log came from OF agent after the initial log. Okay, so it didn't do any etcd operations after initial, I think 5 or 6 operations. Logs, okay, there was just a few debug logs which came, okay, in between. So I can change it back to, so I can do a clear form and it will show for all the pods together. Okay. Now let me make, as a thing, let's make something happen. So what I will do is, if you can see voltctl, there is no device as of now. That's why there is nothing happening. So what I'll do is I will make something happen. I will create a device pointing to BBSIM and I will enable it. So I'll do a voltctl device enable and just do it. Now this device is a single OLT configured with 10 ONUs. So let's look at this. Okay, there are 10 ONUs which are discovered and activating. Some are activating, some are discovered, right? And slowly they will go into activating. It will become active, but which means a lot of things are happening in the Volta stack now. Let's try to do a refresh. It will take time because a lot of things are happening. Okay, you can see number of logs have increased, I think 3 bound, okay, within a few seconds. You can see a lot of etcd operations have started happening now. A lot of operations have started happening. The logs have increased a lot, and you can see the operations have started happening. All the Kafka operations have started happening. The RWCO and OLT are talking. Okay, open OLT to open also you can see a lot of ONU indication requests have started happening. Okay. So this is something, a kind of a power of, right, Kibana dashboards, right, which can allow operators to see in a real time what is happening in the Volta stack, right? If they put in the right kind of visualizations in place. Okay, so that's what I want to probably talk about in terms of Kafka EFP demo. So EFP demo. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. So just go back to this. So we were just on the demonstration, and that's all I think we had to cover.